I'll tell you a good Pug Meetup PD story, which really, really humbled me. My work, I work in TV news, so sometimes I think, oh, I'm the one who's known. No, I'm not known at all. My dog. So we're at a Pug Meetup. This is several months ago, and you think you're all that, except with if you own a pug, you are not. Not only
Nothing.
are you not all that, you're zero. This woman. So we're at this big Pug Meetup. This woman, I don't know her. She comes, and Petey's not with me. He's playing over there.
Yeah.
This woman comes flying up to me and she says, "Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me." I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "Are you with Petey the Pug?" Am I with Petey the Pug? Not, is Petey with you? Are you Miss Nothing Slave?
Yes.
Tammy mimics Petey talking to me going, "Slave." She goes, "Are you with Petey the Pug?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "I know Petey. I saw Petey at da-da-da, whatever, social media, da-da-da." It's like, she didn't want to know my name,
No.
and nothing. Are you with Petey the Pug?
Hello, humans and puggies. Welcome to the Pug Life Show, brought to you by Pug Parties, because your pug deserves to be the best dressed at the porty. And you can check out the pug-fitting, harness and toilet-friendly outfits at pugparties.com. I am your host, Donna, and with me are my puggy co-hosts, Rosie and Kenji, with their rescue foster brother, Buster. He's been fired from 7 jobs. He's crashed a Hollywood film set. He's rewritten every fairy tale worth knowing. And now he's left the planet. Marilee Joyce, Pug-Mom, editor, and very patient assistant to the world's most ambitious black pug, is back on the Pug Life Show for the 3rd time. And today we're talking about Book 6 of the PD the Pug series, called Space Cadet, PD the Pug and the Final Frontier. The universe was not ready for PD the Dognaut. Honestly, neither were the astronauts. But he went anyway, and bravely going where no dog or pug has gone before, and we have all the details. We're talking spacesuits, questionable astronaut food, 5 giant bins of kibble, a crew of humans, none of whom were prepared for pug zoomies in a $1 billion spacecraft, and a sneak peek at what Book 7 might hold. You do not want to miss this one. But before we zoom in, don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter. You'll find the link in the show notes so you can be the first to know when the next episode lands and get access to lots more pugtastic goodies. Hello, Marilee. Welcome back.
Oh my gosh. I was talking to a friend and they said, "I can't believe you're on there. This is your 3rd time. Aren't they tired of you?" And I said, "Oh no. They love Petey."
Absolutely. Absolutely. We do love reading about PD, and we definitely love following PD on socials as well. I did enjoy his little Pug Martian outfit from the other day when you announced that the book had been released, which is,
Yes.
it's only been, 5 days?
Yes, it just came out. I can't believe it. And, he knocks his little flat pug face against the keyboard, smack, 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 and comes out with a book. I don't know how it happens, but 6 times.
A wonderful imagination, obviously, or a desire to lead or have a bigger life. Maybe that's
Or something like that.
It's just incredible. So, yeah, the second it came out, I ordered my book, and I was really glad to say that I think it took 48 hours and it was on my doorstep. So I hope I was the first person. I was probably the first Australian to buy the book. Definitely
Yes, you
that.
definitely were the first Australian. I think you were the 2nd person to actually order. Yes.
Damn, I was hoping to be the first, but that's fine. That's
First in my heart.
Yes, definitely. And Rosie, Kenji, and Buster did enjoy me. I do read to them. So, because I had read somewhere that reading to your pug actually helps calm them.
Oh.
So the sound of your voice can actually be a calming agent when
Wow.
when they've had a big day and they just need to settle down and rest for a little while. So apparently it drops their heartbeat, a bit like when they come and snuggle with you on the couch. So my thought was, snuggling on the couch with me while I read the book out to them seems like a double whammy, which is a really good idea.
A snuggle and a read.
Yes. So, yes, they also enjoyed parts of the book that I read out to them. I didn't read the experiment about the food, though. I think they probably would have been as horrified as I. We will get to that, but that was definitely, we were talking offline before about some of the what was fact and what was fiction. And I am glad to say that some of that was fiction, because I was like, I couldn't. Poor astronauts. Poor
Some of the foods we
astronauts.
made up, yes. Right.
But you sold it, absolutely sold it as being like, it sounded very legit. So I was like, God, I hope these poor astronauts aren't actually eating this awful
Yes.
sounding stuff.
Not yet.
Not yet. But
By the
God
time we
knows.
get to Mars, they might need to, get pretty creative with foods. I don't know.
Absolutely. Ugh. I still, yes, but that's all right. We'll get to that. So, but first things first, as always, because so anyone that's new to PD's world, sort of how would you describe him, and probably what makes him so irresistible?
Well, Petey, who everyone thinks is a baby because he's a pretty thin pug. Most pugs are a little
Mm.
chubby. Petey's only about 14 pounds. So even though he's 7 years old, a lot of people think he's a puppy, but he's not. He's a
He's a puppy at
matured
heart.
an author of 6 books. I
Yes.
haven't read books, but my dog has. So to describe him, I would describe Petey as in his books and in real life, as a misguided but well-meaning little black pug. And in all his books, he's a pug who starts off thinking he knows best and he's the smart one and he's going to show you. And then through a lot of flub ups, shall we say, and a lot of mayhem, tomfoolery, shenanigans, all those old fashioned words that he brings back to life. He learns a lesson along the way throughout the book about how to live life and love everybody and how he should behave. But it's quite a shambles along the way, but it's just a lot of fun. Anything PD can get into, he kind of botches up. And I think any of us pug owners can kind of
Oh,
wink,
yes.
wink, wink, nod, nod at one another. So,
It's like, it's PD's misadventures.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
almost a bit like Pippi Longstockings type sometimes whenever I read his stories.
What is she going to get into next?
Next.
That's PD. So
Um,
the book that just came out, Space Cadet, which is a great title for a
oh,
pug.
yes.
Space Cadet, PD the Pug and the Final Frontier. PD goes to outer space, and he's the first American dog that they have in real life. China and India and the Soviet Union have sent dogs into space, but he's the first American dog to go into outer space with a crew. And the name of the ship is the Wolf Wanderer. It was
Very good. Very
pretty
good
good name
name.
for a ship. And he's sent to accompany the crew and conduct experiments that allegedly are going to lead to benefits in sports and products and medicine and science. But he might flub them up just a little bit. Just a little
He
bit.
he tries his best, and that's all that matters.
Yes.
100% for effort.
Yes. Exactly.
And he had, like, for those listeners who haven't seen PD's books or read them or anything else like that, he does have a snaggletooth grin. So,
Yes, he does.
it is his endearing charm.
Yeah, and it's funny because in all the book covers and illustrations, she always shows his snaggletooth prominently, but in real life, PD snaggles all the time. He has like that,
It
you know,
does. It just pops up whenever
yeah,
it's like he almost
4
knows.
teeth on the side, just kind of hanging out at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Do
it
your
makes him.
dogs? Yours?
No, Rosie's got no teeth now. So her previous owner didn't care for them very well. So she lost them all within about 12 months of her coming to live with us. And she's much happier for it because they were really bad.
Yeah.
Kenji's not too bad. He's and neither's Buster. But yeah, none of them. It's funny. Like, I think it's just it's definitely an individual pug thing, because I
Yeah.
do know other pugs who either have the over, or I think it's rare when they've got the snaggletooth that comes from the bottom. It's
Yeah.
more from the top sort of thing.
Like this little underbite smile. Yeah. Not all the time, but when you get lucky, he'll bless you with it.
Oh, and just a little bit more background, like when did you decide or realize that this pug's personality was perfect, or perfect, I should say, perfect to fill a whole bunch of books?
Well, you asked a question before we began recording about something in one of the books. Is this real or has this happened or something? And I think what really got PD and maybe me helping as the editor, what got us started writing books, we had accumulated so many goofball real life things that it just happened to him. It's just like, uh, I'm sure you're talking about, one of your dogs to someone and they almost look at you like, come on. And you're,
Yes.
oh no, you have to know Rosie, you have to know Kenji, yeah, and so many of the things in the book have actually happened or are very near to what's, he's actually gotten into or goofed off or ruined or, something
Oh,
along those.
yes.
Yeah, in a fun way. In a good way.
Absolutely.
We don't need all our shoes. Come on, Donna. They each
Hell
their
no. You don't need the expensive ones anyway,
Oh,
because
no, no.
they never chew the Kmart thong. I
No.
lost a very expensive pair of Kenneth Cole stilettos to
Oh, god.
my past pugs when they first come to live with us. And it was just sort of like, and I have to keep reminding myself, I've got friends who are dog trainers where they say, if your dog ever does something that you didn't want them to do, don't smack them, smack yourself,
Yep,
because
yep, I
you
have a
haven't
book by
established the
Dunbar. I have a book by Ian Dunbar, and he says he's describing this long thing that your dog did, and he goes, "Now, the next thing to do is get a newspaper, roll it very tight, and beat yourself with it because it's not the dog's fault." You know?
No. So, yes, it was entire, and I have to admit, I have to admit, like, the little buggers, they, because these shoes didn't come out very often. They went with a particular cocktail dress when I used to have to do a lot of work functions, and so the shoes were kinda tucked in the back of the wardrobe. So it wasn't until I actually needed them from a function that I then found them. So they'd managed to get into the wardrobe, get all the way through all the other shoes to them to then chew both heels. So from the perspective
Well,
of
they have
being
good taste.
able,
They
going
have
to
good
the
taste.
event, like, they matched. They were both
Mhm.
chewed up.
But your dogs have good taste. They found the good shoes.
Oh, tell me about it. But Andrew did the same thing. He had these beautiful Italian leather boots. That same thing again, we bought them so that whenever when we had to go to events, like, he had nice shoes to stand around in. Why he got nice shoes and I wore stilettos back in those days, beyond me. Um, the things we do. But of course, he loved them so much, he would wear them all the time, which was fine because it meant that they were getting a good use out of them. But he would leave them just lying around or
Oh,
tucked up under the old bed that we had in those days, thinking that our 2 little chubby pugs, when we adopted them, they were still quite chubby, wouldn't be able to get under the bed to get at them. And I just looked at him. He was a bit of a pug novice at that point in time.
uh,
And so I'm like, because he pulled them out and he's like, what is, so Winston and Charles had chewed the entire top of the boot. So, like, but it was only one. They'd only managed to get to one. Obviously, the other one was too far, stuffed up underneath to be able to get to the other. And he's like, and I went, never for 1 minute assume that a chubby pug won't figure out a way to get under that bed and get to that shoe if it smells tasty.
they don't call pugs the most stubborn breed for nothing.
So, yes, I completely agree. The number of stories that you could say about any of your pugs, they're all unique personalities,
Yes,
and they bring their unique, even though I have to admit, I think black pugs are just a little bit more adventurous than fawn ones.
of
The
course.
All of my black pugs over the years have all been the ones that have really pushed the boundaries at times. So,
Maybe they think they're more stealth or something. I don't.
I don't know. Either that or they get bored a lot quicker than fawn ones.
Maybe.
Little rat bags. But we were talking about, so this is book number 6, and so out of all the books, PD's had some great adventures. Like, he's tried to get a job, which I think more to him, getting a job so that he could buy his own kibble and treats. A bit of
Yes.
autonomy, I thought a very good idea. I wish my guys would like pick up that mantle. even though they are pug models, but of course they get paid in treats. So
Yes.
I'm sure they get a pretty good deal out of that. And then, of course, we were talking before, like, as much as I've loved this book, I have to admit the fairy tales are still my favourite. But I will always read all the books. So probably the question is for people that sort of may have only read one or two, sort of which out of all of those 6 books have you enjoyed writing the most with PD?
You know, they're all so different that I've enjoyed them all. I will say it's funny, you brought up the one where he gets a job is called Working Like a Dog, Petey the Pug in Corporate America, and then Furry Fairy Tales. What those 2 books have in common, and, I enjoyed them so much, and it made it I don't know if more difficult is the right word, but Working Like a Dog, Petey gets 7 jobs over 7 days and gets fired spectacularly within about 4 hours into each job because he so botches everything up. But since there's 7 different jobs and they each have their own characters and stories, similarly, Furry Fairy Tales, Petey
Yes.
reimagines 7 fairy tales that you and I would know from and your
Childhood,
listeners from
yes.
childhood, but retold through the eyes of a pug. Like, instead of the 3 little pigs, it's the 3 little pugs. Instead of the Pied Piper of
Mm.
Hamilton, it's the Pug Piper of Arlington, which is where I live, and the Petey and his merry men instead of Robin Hood, and so
Mm.
everything's rewritten. But those 2 books similarly, it was like writing 7 different books because each
Mm.
job was a new book, each chapter of Furry Fairy Tales, each fairy tale is a whole new story starting from scratch. So that was more challenging, but also very fun,
Yeah.
to invent each one. So, the first book is called Get Me Out of Here: Reflections of Petey the Pug, and I would say that and Furry Fairy Tales are the most pedantic. Most your children can easily adults love them, don't get me
Oh,
wrong.
yeah.
Adults love them, especially Furry Fairy Tales because it reminds you of your own youth,
Oh,
and
yes.
Get Me Out of Here is about a dog Petey, who decides out there must be better than in here. And he desperately wants out. And he explains why he's got to get away from this woman and why out there is better.
Oh,
And
definitely.
spoiler alert, kind of figures out he actually has a really good life at home. What experiences out in the wild, so to say, the wilds of Arlington, which aren't too wild. And then the next book, it's called No, You Sit, Petey the Pug's Manual on How to Train Your Human. And that book, Petey turns the tables on who's training who and how to train your human in every area from grooming, AKA no more grooming, to the proper way to do a walk, not dragging your dog along, but, taking all the time you want.
Oh, yes.
And
It's very
just
important. Safaris, very
like,
important.
how to design the house for a dog so that, all these human things aren't in the way, and, let's see, I already said grooming, a whole chapter on training how to never have to put on a costume again, and just it's very funny things, and then the next one was Working Like a Dog. The 4th one is called A Star Is Born,
Oh,
Petey the
yeah.
Pug on the Silver Screen, and Petey gets a very tiny role in a Chewy Productions film. Chewy in Australia?
I
Chewy is,
don't think so.
it's a large dog retail corporation where you would buy everything from dog food to outfits to,
Mm.
cat stuff and toys and treats and everything. And he gets a production or a tiny role in a Chewy production, but he thinks he's the star, and he takes over the whole set, and what could possibly go wrong?
Never.
Everything goes wrong. And then Furry Fairy Tales, as you mentioned, Petey the Pug's bedtime stories, and now he goes to space, so and
He's
not
had
to
some.
spoil things, but I already know what I'm gonna do for number 7. I've already
Oh,
thought.
that's good because that's a question for the end.
Yes, yes. Don't ruin it.
Direct. Spoiler alert. Anyone who doesn't want to know, you might need to stop at the end. Yeah, I mean, all these amazing books, they're all co-authored, Mummy and PD
And
do all
mommy.
the work.
Yes. PD and mommy, though. You have it wrong. I'm the
Apologies.
assistant. Yes.
Yes, or I just assumed that PD dictated to you what you had to write
Yeah,
for
exactly.
him. So what was it that sparked the idea to send PD to space this time? So because it's quite different. Like everything else is sort of like does center around a pug's life, whereas a pug in space,
Well,
that's like next level.
he's the flightiest dog. It was only natural. He's the flightiest dog on earth.
Parallels.
May as well head off.
Oh,
Yeah.
there must have been a huge amount of research because like it's because you're quite descriptive in what the environment feels like and all the exercises, and I sort of don't want to spoil too much. I'll leave you to decide how
Well,
much
this
you share.
doesn't spoil anything, but you will laugh because when you say a lot of research went into the books, I kind of my dear friend Tammy and my editor Amy, who works for my publisher, are both very science and math people. And when I had the idea, I think he's going to go to space, but I said, I am a math
Nothing.
forget it. I'm very good with, the English side. I work in television news. I'm on camera. I do those things. Math and science, ladies, forget it. And they said, "Oh, please, we want this book." And I said, "No." So this is funny. I don't know if you have it there. Do you guys have the dummies books? Like
Yes.
anything for dummies?
Yes, I've even read
I found on
Pugs for Dummies.
Thrift Books, Outer Space for Dummies. So last summer before I wrote the book, I read the Space for Dummies books to teach myself anything I didn't know about space. And I just sat there on the little recumbent bike and just read it every day. Very knowledgeable now. So that informed part of the book. But then I did a lot of research. You've read it, so you know that at the top of
Mm.
most of the chapters, there'll be some interesting
Yes.
introduction into what that chapter is going to be about from something that actually happened on Earth. Yeah. Should I give one away or not ruin
No,
it?
no, go. It's entirely up to you.
Well,
Like,
one of the experiments, I won't say, you and I were laughing about it off camera, but PD has to sample a lot of foods. And the reason he's given that experiment is because a pug's olfactory system, pugs have 4 billion receptors to
mm,
our 2 million. And that's why when you take your pugs out and they're sniffing, 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 and you're
yeah.
wondering, what do you smell in that little pile of dirt? But they're
Oh, yeah.
not only do they have 4 billion receptors, I've learned through my old research for books, their noses can
Have a
at the
shower.
same time breathe in and out. So they can
Mm.
take in all these scents as they're releasing them. And anyway, it's kind of,
And they have a shelf so they can
yeah,
store it so that they
yeah,
build the story as they sniff along. That always amazed me.
right. That's nerd pug knowledge or
Oh,
something.
yes.
Yeah, I know too much of it. But anyway, so the experiment, he has to taste all these foods
Oh,
and see if they'd find them palatable and good enough to not get sick of, etc., well into the future and maybe on
mm.
Mars and all this. And as Donna knows, the types of foods he has to sample, he doesn't exactly appreciate having to be the sampler.
Yes, there was
Stink
the,
bug.
yes, there were that and eel compost. That was just sort of like, I'm reading it going, I actually didn't read that chapter out loud to the pugs because I thought if I read out the chapter about
They're
food,
going to say,
all of
"What is
it,
in our
they're gonna,
kibble?"
where is all the food?
Yeah.
And so, but I'm reading it going, I'm not sure that I would find this palatable, let alone a pug. So yeah, I did. I was in sympathy, going "Ugh," with with PD over it. But we won't let any more away. But we probably should take a step back and say, so in the story, what's PD's mission? Not just to go to space to be the first pugnaut, but he did actually have a job.
Right. And his job was to conduct The crew didn't so much do the experiments as lead PD as the experimenter, I guess that's correct.
Experimenting.
And, yeah, kind of get that the word tense wrong.
Yeah.
Um, but he does 3 main experiments and then 1 at the end, as you know, I won't say, but that he didn't really plan to do to kinda help the crew out. And but the idea of these experiments is to help mankind, like, he helps Olympians by with one of his experiments, he
Mm.
helps new products through some of the things he
Have to
allegedly helped with it.
consume.
Petey sometimes leads to success on accident, shall we say. Like, he botches up all the experiments and still gets credited with yeah, so
Yes, and he does, dare I, otherwise I promise I will edit this out if we don't want to give too much away, but he does get to meet his match with the squirrel.
Oh,
And that's
yeah,
all we're gonna say. We're just
that's
gonna
all we're gonna say.
but I did, in
And
the
the
as I was
squirrel's
reading
name
it.
is great. The squirrel's name.
Yes, yes. As I was reading, I was thinking, these guys, I mean, we don't have squirrels in Australia, I don't think. Our equivalent
Oh.
is possums.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but and it's quite funny. There are 2 types. There are ringtails, they're tiny, they have a little literally their tail
Yeah.
sort of circles a bit like a pug's tail, and it's
Oh,
so that they can hang off things. And then there is the brush tail, which is like it's a big, bushy, which is kind of more
or
like your
yeah,
squirrel
yeah,
than anything else. But the brush tails can be really nasty.
yeah.
They don't, and so pugs love barking at the brushies more than they do the ringtails. But yeah, these guys, no way would they go after a brushie. They're
Do they
mean.
chase them like dogs chase squirrels?
Bigger dogs would. Pugs kind of, I think they understand that, like, they've probably met their
They're not
match.
gonna win. Yeah.
No. And but the little buggers, they will run across your fence top. So it's all about teasing. It's like,
Oh,
I need to get from point A to point B, and there's a pug down there barking at me, so I'm just gonna, and so, like, especially Kenji, he is like, "What are you doing on my
and
fence
like
line?"
squirrels, do they run up the tree, like up the tree
Yes.
bark? Yeah.
Yes. So they're sort of,
Mm.
they're all sort of hibernating now because it's the weather this week has been absolutely awful. I think they said we've got a month's worth of rain in the last 2 days. So, as you can imagine, these guys haven't gone outside too
Yeah.
much. And of course, poor old PD being in space, stuck in a spacesuit. Luckily, you didn't actually talk about this in the book, but obviously, poor old PD had to learn how to use a space toilet, which I can imagine, if it's anything like my guys, wouldn't have enjoyed that too
Yeah.
much.
No, no.
Or the, but I have to, because my thought was throughout the entire book.
Although here's a little spoiler for your audience. You can edit this out, but he also doesn't quite learn to use the human one, but he learns to hide things in the human.
He does very well at it. Smart pug, PD, very smart.
Of course, he can't latch the toilet all the way because he doesn't have those opposable
For the
thumbs, so
thumbs.
that leads to some too.
Yes. Some as I said, the misadventures of PD the Pug, seriously.
Yes. He's very happy that the, pantry has 5 gigantic bins of kibble labeled
Oh.
kibble 1, kibble 2, kibble 3, kibble 4, kibble 5, and so he thinks he's in heaven. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I would too. They just have to be like chocolate lolly.
Chocolate yeah.
But you didn't have it in the book, which I assumed was deliberate,
Yes.
because the entire time I was reading the book, I was thinking, Mummy
Aw,
must be
girl.
awfully scared about PD being in space and her not being there with him. He didn't
Well,
seem to
Ma I
mind
am
being
I'm in the
away from Mummy.
beginning. I'm in
Yes, you
the
are.
beginning and the end, but I don't go into space, and there is no communication between us, but we certainly reunite
Oh,
at the end.
absolutely. But I thought to myself, oh, going all that time without seeing him or talking to him or knowing really what's going on, that must have been nerve-wracking.
Oh, it was so hard. I didn't.
I'm not sure that I would let any of mine go to space if I couldn't keep an eye on them.
Well, since it was less than a week, it wasn't too bad.
Not too bad, sort of
Yeah.
sort of like, yes, I can imagine. But the other thing that I did love, so the human astronauts that have to live with PD, so I did think to myself, like, communal living, I'm ex-Navy, communal living it's tough.
Right.
And sort of this was obviously PD's first time being away from home for a long period of time and then having to live with humans that he'd obviously trained with, but probably not really
And you
gotten.
have 4 very distinct personalities.
Yes, but I did
Egghead
enjoy
Roger does not like him.
the Rogers, which I just so in the Navy, like, we used the term Roger a lot. So when I saw it first come up in the book, same thing again. I did have a good giggle to myself because it ended up being that all the humans were called Roger.
Yeah. Well, in Petey's mind, because
Yes.
they're all going, "Roger, Roger." So Petey keeps thinking that, "Well, wait, to be an astronaut, do you have to be named Roger? Are they gonna rename me Roger? Do I have to change my name?" He's crying. And so he, in his mind, names them all. There's Rogerette is the woman. Egghead Roger is the kind of nerdy one. Researcher Roger is the one who's always in books. And Smiley Roger is the happy one. And that's what they're called throughout the book. And even in the epilogue, there's a ceremony after they get home. And Petey sees Smiley Roger with a woman that he just decides her name must be Mrs. Smiley Roger. He just one's name Roger. So
No, it was great, and I do feel sorry for the Rogers. Obviously, having never been pug owners, they probably didn't realise what they were getting themselves in for.
especially as a
Um,
pug, you're doing zoomies in a vacuum,
yes.
a
But and
$1 billion vacuum. You got some crazy dog doing the zoomies.
zoomies around. Oh, look, at least it was only one. You could just sort of imagine if there was, like, more than one, 'cause,
No,
I read recently that pugs multiply themselves. So if they're all sleeping together and snoring, their snoring actually gets louder because they feed off each other. So you could imagine
the decibel
PD and, like, his fawn girl crush being up there together. And
and getting the zoomies.
yes, like, it would just be absolutely crazy. We will come back to the fawn girl crush later. Um, she is I'm obsessed with her. Like, there has
Yeah.
got I'm almost as obsessed as PD is, to be honest,
I
with
don't know if
the
they're in Australia. When I was little, there was a show called Moonlighting. I saw little bits of it in reruns or something, and it was the actress Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis. And there's all this tension, but they don't get together.
yeah.
But then at I guess it was the end show or one of the end ones, they finally kiss or something. And the audience hated it because it ruined the tension.
The tension.
Yeah, and so I have so many people. I'll let you ask later. I won't do more than this sentence, but I have so many Petey fans from everywhere. Are Petey and his fawn pug, the girl crush, are they gonna meet? Are
I
they gonna get
know.
together? And I want them to meet finally in one of the books. For your listeners, he's in love with this pug that he saw. It's a fawn pug, but he's too scared to meet her. He's just like he's Mr. Show Off, ha ha. But when it comes to her, he's petrified to actually meet her. I want him to meet her so bad, but I'm afraid it's going to be like moonlighting that all my readers are going to go, "You just ruined all the tension. Now they've met." But I know everyone wants them to meet.
I know. I want PD to be
Whatever furry
happy.
fairy tales he imagines
I know.
they're gonna get married.
I know, and that was mean. I
Yeah,
was like, "Oh my god, they're finally," and then no.
and then he's just having another dream. No
So
pugs, no ba
no, I want them to be puggily ever after. That's my dream
hang
for
in there,
PD.
maybe book 7. Hang in there.
Yes. So, probably what part of book 6 did you enjoy co-writing with PD? Whether that's like laugh out loud or or whatever, what was the bit that you enjoyed the most?
To me, the laugh out loud, and I'll try to say very little about this because I don't want to ruin it. Is my favorite
No.
chapter. You'll laugh is chapter 7, where he does the special thing that he doesn't think he's going to have to, or
Yes.
when something goes terribly wrong. And when toward the end of chapter 7, PD thinks something went terribly wrong while he's doing his chore, shall we say. Again, I won't ruin it. I'll let your readers read it. But to me, I actually was laughing while writing it. It was so funny, everything that happened. And he also, early on in the book, he imagines in real life, there's the biggest star in the galaxy, the
Mm,
dog star, and Sirius means dog star. Well, there's one
mm,
star that's bigger, but the dog star is called Sirius. Sorry
yes.
about that. Is called Sirius. And when things are going wrong or he's scared, he imagines Sirius is holding his paw or Sirius is doing that. And when this really funny part happens, Sirius is involved there, making things a little better for him. But yeah, I thought that was, again, I don't wanna give it away, but
No, no, it's
that was my favorite. Did you like that part, the end
I
toward
did. I thought it was very fairy dog
yeah,
mother-esque.
yeah.
If that's the right word.
And when he thinks he blew everything and he goes, "I just want mommy to know
I know.
I tried, mommy, I really tried." And then he passes out. Yeah.
I know. That was what I was sitting there going, "Oh, how does mummy survive this trip?
No,
She's not there."
I tried. Mm.
It's terrible, but sort of slightly off topic, but I think probably so in the writing process, how does PD supervise? Is he sleeping in the bed and, like, dictating, or is he sitting next to the computer so that he
Oh,
can
no,
tap
he's
you?
actually writing the book
Is
in whole. He writes the entire book. He slams his little pug face against the computer keys and forms the sentences and what have you, and then I do a little editing when it's all done.
does he get like, I've heard that there are certain things that writers do, like they're almost superstitions, I suppose, where they only ever eat gummy bears or something,
Right. I
like there's
don't
a
let him
bowl.
smoke a cigar because we're not a smoking family, so he's not allowed to smoke. But
Right.
after every book, he eats exactly 4 different colored milk bones, right, to celebrate, and then he does a huge round of zoomies all over the house, and then I clean up the entire house after you've been there. Yeah,
Oh,
so
yes.
that's his
Oh, yes,
celebration.
it's like that's how that's the what's the development process.
I'll tell you though, it's funny, he is a bit of a celebrity right now because he has had since his books were published, he has had now 52 book signings. He has
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a really nice setup. His table, it has, a cloth. His colors are purple and orange,
Yeah.
and the table cover has orange paw prints on it, and his signs say that are in his colors say, for the door of whatever place we're at, and next to the table, "Meet Petey, author of," and it lists the books. And I think I told you last show we partnered with Rainbow Bridge Hospice
Yes.
Center, the hospice for dogs, and we give proceeds of the sales from his signings, etcetera, to we give a portion to Rainbow Bridge. And when I was looking for someone to partner with, most people do rescue organizations, and I looked at several, and then I thought, what else is there? And then I found this they're located in the United States in North Carolina, and what they do is they rescue from shelters,
Mm,
dogs that are about to be euthanized, and they take them into people's homes. They collect them in their big center. They live there for a while, and
mm.
then they give them to homes so people these dogs are
Wow.
sick, elderly, or else they're maimed in some way, like missing a
Mm.
leg or something, and it lets them live out their final days in someone's home.
Yes.
and be loved and held instead of, go to a kill center where I don't even know how they put them down. I don't want to think about it. But
Um,
I thought donating to this organization would be something helpful that we could do in our, in a small way. So,
no, it's a wonderful legacy. We're working with Saffron on the Hill this year, which is a pug rescue that similarly takes in all animals, but specifically a majority of their pugs are actually geriatric aged. So
yeah.
they're incredibly difficult to adopt out because they're so old and they've got a lot of the times very specific care needed. And it's like it's a little nursing home for
Yeah.
the little old pugs, and sort of they all need love, and if there's nothing wrong with them other than being old,
Mhm.
they should be able to be in an environment where they're loved and they get to snuggle up with other pugs and because let's face it, all they want is a little bit of sunshine and a
Well,
comfy
and you
bed.
make a good point, and what Terry, the owner or founder of Rainbow, she said, "Look, even if you go to a kill center that allows adoptions or euthanasia places, etc." She said, if you bring your son, your daughter, they don't point to the one with no leg or who's, 90 years old and go, I want that pug
Mm,
or I want that dog. They want the little puppy. They want the one dancing around. So like you say, like I go
mm,
online sometimes and look at dogs and that you can help or something.
mm.
And nobody's adopting or helping the geriatric, the one that you've mentioned.
Mm.
And it's
Well,
hard, you know.
it is, and I get they are more expensive to care for as they get
Yeah.
older. That is a tough decision. But yes, we sort of I have to admit, like, as much as I love pugs of all ages, I do have a soft spot for the more senior because they make great cuddlers.
Well,
Like,
look,
they
I know this is your show and not mine, but I
that's
tell your listeners who don't know, Donna, who didn't have to do this, her heart broke over a pug named Buster who needed much medical help and was very, very down the road toward maybe not even being with us any longer. And she did a massive fundraiser and raised enough money to get this dog emergency surgeries and all this health care, and you are to be commended. It's a beautiful story. I even my dear friend here who's not even a dog person and is now because she's in love with Petey. I showed her Buster's story and she donated enough that she won your top
I
prize.
know,
Get a
it
whole
was
package, but
wonderful.
we really wanted to help. And anyway, I don't want to turn you all embarrassed, but your listeners need to know that you do this show and you talk a lot about pugs, but you're not just talking. I mean, you really have a heart for pugs. You lead
No.
your pug organization. We call it meetup here. You call it something else.
Yeah, or pug playgroup, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm in Arlington's pug meetup. Yeah, we every once a month on Sundays. Yeah, we meet at this. It's a dog park, but they have a park for the big dogs and then the little dog park, and we take it over. There's other little dogs there, but on Pug Day, they may as well go home because there are
Phew, get
millions of little
out.
pugs just
And
everywhere.
playgroups are wonderful just because, like, the first time I got introduced to it was a different playgroup in a different part of Melbourne many years ago when I had Fat Dog, my first pug. And the
Mhm.
first time we went,
Oh,
um, that was his nickname. He was a little barrel. Um, but it was just incredible sitting there and seeing like 40 pugs all snorting and
oh,
sniffing
yeah.
together, and it's
And
just
the other types of dog owners, they don't know what to do. They're just
no, no,
looking
no,
at
no. They all
dogs.
just like they back off. It's incredible to watch, and then sort of and it is wonderful because if there's a pug that's
Mhm.
sort of wandered off, like someone calls out, "Somebody's lost a pug," and sort of everyone turns around, and then someone just goes, "Oh my god, that's mine," and then you
They
gotta run.
by the noise, they just know. So, I don't know if you do it there. This is a horrible thing, but I love all dogs. But French bulldogs, when we are on a walk, all every listener right now is gonna go, "Yep, when we're on a walk and we see a French bulldog out loud, I go, Petey, his ears go the wrong way. So and the owner's kind of giving me the stink eye, but it's true.
I always say that Frenchies are a pug from another mother.
Yeah, I say pug
So
wannabe. No, they are
we,
darling.
we do have Frenchies who come to our group because I have to, like, we're very inclusive from the perspective of it's an open,
Yeah.
where we are, it's an open plan, sort of leash-free area, so anyone can come in and go. And our only rule is they've just got to be okay with being around a lot of pugs. So, but we have a number, like, it's actually quite good because the mix of pugs has changed probably over the last 18 months to 2 years. So we've got a lot of younger ones in the group now, which Kenji's very happy about because he loves to chase. And let's face it, young pugs love to run. So it works out really well. But unfortunately, poor old Kenji, as he gets a bit older and a little bit more arthritic, the chase is much shorter than what it used to be when he first
He's
came.
hanging in there.
Yes.
I'll tell you a good pug meetup PD story, which really, really humbled me. My work, I work in TV news, so sometimes I think, oh, I'm the one who's known. No, I'm not known at all. My dog. So we're at a pug meetup. This is several months ago. And you think you're all that, except if you own a pug, you are not only are you not
Nothing.
all that, you're zero. This woman, so we're at this big pug meetup. This woman, I don't know her. She comes, and Petey's not with me. He's playing over there.
Yeah.
This woman comes flying up to me and she says, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. I go, yeah. And she goes, are you with Petey the Pug? Am I with Petey the Pug? Not, is Petey with you? Are you Miss Nothing slave?
Yes.
Cammy mimics Petey talking to me, going slave. Um, she goes, are you with Petey the Pug? I go, yeah. She goes, I know Petey. I saw Petey at da da da, whatever social media, da da da. It's like she didn't want to know my name,
No.
and nothing. Are you with Petey the Pug?
I
Excuse me, Donna, are you with Kenji?
Unbelievably, the same thing happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I completely getting off topic, I know. I took my mum to a new cafe in Melbourne, which was, for Melbourne listeners, it's called the Heart of Carlton. And it's this wonderful little cafe that sells food really cheaply. And then the proceeds to it, they then donate to various food charities. So
Mhm.
so we wanted to go because they take donations of food, and my mum has a veggie garden. So she actually donated a whole bunch of excess veggies to them so
Yeah.
that they could keep doing their work. And so once we'd sort of taken everything in and I had Rosie, Kenji and Buster with me and they were in their Pugs and Stripes outfits, we had Kenji was on his lead, whereas Rosie and Buster were in the stroller because they'd already had a big morning at dog yoga. And so they were a little bit puffed at watching me do all the yoga. So we were all sitting outside as Mum was getting us drinks, and then these lovely ladies walked past, and they're like, "Oh my god, we're pug owners too. Can we have a pat?" Because pug owners, we
Yes, of
see
course.
another pug and we say, "I'd love to give your pug a cuddle." So Kenji's in seventh heaven. Rosie and Buster are just allowing themselves, and the ladies sort of looked at them and then looked at me and then looked back at them and said, "Are you pug parties?" And I'm like, "Yes." And she goes, "Oh my god, is this Rosie and Kenji?" And I'm like, "Yes." And then after that, I was dead to them. They were so
And for your listeners who don't know, that's because Rosie and Kenji model all the clothes, so
I
they're the
know,
stars of the site.
and so they literally, "We follow you on Instagram," but they're not saying it to me, they're saying it to Rosie, "We follow you on
Yeah,
Instagram," as
you're
they're
not even
giving them
there.
that. And I'm like,
Step
I was
aside.
so happy for, like, Kenji was in seventh heaven because he was getting pats. Rosie was literally, like, as always, little Miss Thing. She's like, "Well, of course you follow us on Instagram. Why
Mhm.
wouldn't you?" Like, it was so funny. And my mum comes out with the drinks, and the ladies sort of, "Thank you very much," and sort of blah, 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 and all that sort of stuff. And then mum's like, "What was all that about?" And I went, "You are not gonna believe what just happened."
Oh, these 2
I
elderly women come over to see Petey, and they're playing with him and what have you, and I'll start to ask a question or something, and one of them honestly, and doesn't realize it's, not appropriate or anything. She just stops, kind of glares over at me and goes, "We're not here to see you," and then goes back to the dog. I said, "Oh, excuse me, I'll just be upstairs. I'll just go to my room," or,
I'll
so,
just yes,
yeah.
would you just like me to stand over here while you
I guess we got a little off track, so,
I know, but it's so funny, like, I'm sure that there are loads of pug mums out
yes,
there that
nodding.
have similarly been treated
Yeah.
as such.
Oh, yeah.
We just know how it is. So without I did love this, I come up with this brilliant so without blowing the airlock, what's in store for book 7?
Okay. I won't give too much away, but since he's taught you how to train your human, he's tried to get out, he's gotten 7 jobs that he lost, so he's not that good at that job. He's told fairy tales, he's been an actor and gone to space. The only thing left right now, he's been recruited to join the CIA, and I don't know what your version is in Australia, but,
ACO.
that's real oh, okay. Yes, he's going
Gonna be a
undercover.
spy,
He's
pug
gonna go undercover,
spy,
and he
double O
might get
seven
a little
pug.
he might get a little distracted deciding that he needs to spy on Ralph the dog, and that's his forever enemy. We haven't brought up Ralph yet.
No,
Or
actually.
spy on his pug crush, fawn girl pug, and see what she's doing.
See, I potentially those skills will help him broach the divide between him and the fawn girl pug so that
Yeah.
they can finally go on a date. My long-term wish for PD is that he gets to go on a date with fawn girl crush.
I
Or we
think
actually find out what her real name is.
yes, that's a lot of people's most desired outcome.
I know, and I'm sure it won't bomb. I know I will feel happy that PD finally like, he's 7. He's starting to become, like, a mature pug.
Yes, it's
He
time.
needs but it is tough, like, he has all this love from mum. Can he handle more love? I suppose that is the other
Oof,
question.
I don't know. He's pretty big-hearted, let's put it like that. I think he can take on a little more,
I
or we'll
know.
find out.
Yes. So, we'll keep track of that and see how it all goes, but probably the last question, which is actually probably other than what's PD doing, most important question is how do people find the book?
Well, thank you. It's published by Dart Frog is our publisher, but the easiest way. You can order through PD's site, which is PD the Pug at PD the Pug Productions.com, or much easier is just to go to Amazon. And in the search bar, if you put in PD the Pug, and for your listeners, they're imagining PEE. It's actually just the
Yes.
letter P, the letter D, the pug. So a P and a D, no periods, PD the Pug.com books on Amazon. If you just put PD the Pug books, and it'll lead you to all 6 books. And if this matters, my publisher has done a sale on the books right now.
Ooh.
So they were, I think, 17.95, and now they're 12. So it will in
Oh.
America. I don't know what that
I'm just having
translates.
a look on Australian. No, it looks like it's only in America, but
Oh, sorry.
you've also got that's fine, but the other thing is you can either get it on Kindle or
Mhm.
you can get the hard copy. So as I said, like, I ordered mine the second it got released last week,
It's fun
and
to
it
get
was
the
on
hard
my
copy because people like to hold it.
I
Oh,
am,
there it
I
is.
do,
Show everyone. Oh, you can. It's not. Yeah, look at
fine,
that.
but you did give me the graphic for the cover.
Yes,
I mean, all the graphics again in the book are awesome as well. Um,
yes,
so yes, the cover graphic will be on what's the word I'm looking for? The podcast thingy.
yes, yes.
So yeah, but yeah, the you can get the paperback and you also can unfortunately you can't get it's not on Apple Books, so it is
Not yet.
Kindle though. So
Please follow PD on Instagram, and it's at PD the Pug, and Facebook or any social. We'd appreciate you joining his followers.
no,
And
and
yeah,
saying hello as well, most importantly, because I do
yeah,
know that PD likes to say hello back.
yeah, please do. Thank you. And Don, I can't thank you enough for your kind support of PD. I know he loves his Aunt Donna.
No, I love having you I love reading the books, and I love having you on the show talking about the next installment. So, and as I said, it also gives me the opportunity to put in a bid
Yeah,
for Fawn Pug Girl.
thank you. Yes, and I hope that if Buster needs help in the future, that your listeners will reach out and help again, and I know that me and my team, we're certainly here to help as well. I think it's a
Oh,
great.
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon, no doubt, for book 7.
Yes, CIA. Thank you.
And that is a wrap on another episode of the Pug Life Show. A huge thank you to Marilee Joyce and, of course, to PD himself for coming back on the show for a third time. 3 visits in, and we are absolutely not tired of that little snaggletooth Space Cadet. And if you want to get your paws on Space Cadet, PD, the Pug, and the Final Frontier, and trust me, you do, head to Amazon and search PD the Pug. That's the letter P, the letter D, no full stops. And it'll bring up all 6 books. And don't forget to follow PD on Instagram and Facebook. He loves saying hello back. And if today's episode had you laughing, nodding along, or feeling very seen as a pug parent, we would absolutely love to hear about it. So please share it with us over in our Facebook group, the Pug Life Show Podcast. Plus, if you haven't already, please follow the podcast so you don't miss out on the next episode. And while you're at it, leave us a review. It not only takes a couple of seconds to give us a 5-star review, but it also goes a long way to helping other pug parents find us. Rosie, Kenji, Buster, and I hope that you'll join us again soon. But until then, have a pawsome week, and humans, be generous with the snackies.